Okay, we're back from the Bobcat dealer. See, got 4 new ones, and I don't know, it was like $80-something for these, which I thought was kind of crazy. I thought a glow plug is, I mean, it's not much more than a freaking spark plug, you know, missing the porcelain, but I mean, why are these so expensive? Why are they $20 a piece? Whatever. So anyways, bought 4 new ones, and we're going to put them in now and see if we can't get this thing to run right. Okay, I just wanted to show you, I ended up taking off the fuel lines that go to the injectors. Just pull the top 4 off here and the bottom 4 off here, and the whole rail slides right out. Get that out of your way, and then you're able to access this glow plug in here, wherever it is. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? Right there. So what I did was, instead of pulling this whole block off to be able to get a wrench in there, why is this so zoomed in? Took a 12mm wrench, tightened it up by hand, and I was able to put the wrench on the end of the, you know, on the end of it like that. And then I took a small screwdriver and just put it through the box end, and was able just to snug it up, because all it takes is to crack them loose and they twist off by hand, so you can just spin them in by hand and then just tighten it back up with a little screwdriver and a 12mm wrench. The other ones are pretty straightforward. You can reach in there with the 12mm and just tighten them all up. But then after that, we'll put the whatever those crossover pieces are that, you know, continue the current on. So we'll go with that. Okay, glow plugs are in. They're in, and the little crossover pieces are attached, and those little thumb screws actually have knurls on them this time, so it's they're easy to tighten up with just your hands. They still have that slot in there, so I went around with a little tiny screwdriver and just kind of cinched them up a little bit more each. But as you can see, they're all on. Back when you can't really see, but there's the power wire that goes to it, that generates the heat, or energizes them to make the heat. And now what we're going to do is put on this, I don't know, I guess you call it a fuel rail. It's for the injectors, and then for the fuel pump. So put that on now, and then prime the system, and then hopefully she'll fire right up. So, all right, so that looks like it's it. I got the fuel lines back on. Little trick for these guys are, when you're reinstalling these, don't put these back on and hand tighten them, because you're never going to be able to get a wrench in between there to tighten them after they're already on. So slide them all the way up on the fuel line and start with the back one, make that finger tight, then lock it down with the wrench, and then bring the next one down and go on from there, because you can get a wrench in from this way and tighten them. There's enough clearance with the line in front of it, but once these are all on, you're never going to be able to get a wrench in there. So start from the back. Top is self-explanatory. You can tighten those all up by finger and just get a 11/16 in here, and it tightens up just fine. As you can see by the fuel, all I did was loosen this up here, reach in the back there, grab that plunger, squeeze it a whole bunch of times until fuel came out here, and that way I got the air out of these lines. So hopefully we're gonna go oh, I wanted to show you the how I have the starter rigged. When I bought this machine, it didn't have a key, and when I finally found a key for it, the key switch didn't work, because as you can see, they have some crazy wiring going on back here. So all I did was ran a hot wire off the positive and a ground wire off the negative for the starter solenoid, and I ran that up to a toggle switch up in the cab, so when you flick the toggle switch on, it engages the starter. And the same thing I did with the glow plug solenoid. I just hooked a negative and a positive to it, ran them up to a cab, and then there's a spring-loaded toggle switch. You just hold it down for 30 seconds or whatever and release it, and then hit the starter button and it fires right up. But you just got to remember to shut the starter button off, or else you could have problems. I guess you get a spring-loaded one, but like I said before I was doing the glow plugs, I wanted to come back here and give it a little tiny shot of starting fluid when it was really cold out to help it get going. And I didn't want to put starting fluid in here when the motor wasn't turning over, because I think you can hydrolock it pretty good. So I wanted the motor spinning over and then spray it. So to be able to get back behind the machine, I needed the starter to stay engaged. So anyways, we got this all back together. Got the fuel lines back on, got it bled out, got everything tightened up, got the tools out of the way, got everything off the motor here, and let's go see if she runs. Just gonna click the toggle switch down for, I don't know, 7, 8, 15 seconds or so, and then I'm gonna hit the starter. Ooh, hang on a minute. That's progress. I've never had it start like this before, so there must just be a little air in the lines, but yeah, that's great. It sounds like it's gonna fire right up once I get the air purged out. So give this a little bit more glow plug. There she goes. She's a runner. She is a runner. Success. So